Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream. Dear, oh dear, what was it? The hunt, the blood, or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gherman joins the hunt.
Welcome to Bloodborne 101. My name is Johnny aka Ninnies, and I will be your guide through this dark, long night. The legendary First Hunter Gherman is an optional boss if you wish to obtain the other two endings of the game. One of these endings is by submitting your life, a second by alone defeating him, and the third by defeating him once again, but this time consuming at least 3 1/3 cords before defeating him. Gherman has weaknesses to elemental damage such as arcane, fire, and bolt, but if you make use of visceral attacks, the fight will go much faster. Gherman also has a lot of health, high damage output, and reach, so expect a tough fight if you want to take him on. You'll want to equip armor that has good physical defense if you're having trouble, and the claw mark and or the blood rapture runes if you're going for visceral attacks. If you at least have 15 arcane, the beast roar is very useful for knocking him down and making heavier weapons more viable. The key to defeating Gherman is patience and pacing. Hunters using slower and heavier hitting weapons have a harder time hitting him due to him being very spry for his age. Now let us discuss this fight. The first of 4 phases, Gherman will have his scythe in its transformed state and will commonly chain his attacks. While his weapon is transformed, his range can be overwhelming at times. Using a lead elixir can help with preventing the stun lock in between his attacks. He also has amazing tracking on his weapon, so if you dodge way too early, he can still follow you. Study the moves because he'll be using them again later in the fight. And try to find opportunities for viscerals or stuns wherever possible and do not overextend. Phase 2 and 3, he will untransform his weapon and use his rifle while becoming faster with his attacks, although his damage output is decreased. He may occasionally transform his weapon for reach, and then he will return it to normal. When he rolls towards you, either he will shoot you point blank or swipe at you. Whichever happens, it's a good idea to ready your pistol. Keep the combat steady and make use of any good windows for visceral attacks. Soon he will progress into Phase 3, when he falls back and tries to power up. This is a good time to get a backstab or land some free hits on him. Now the final phase is at about a quarter of his health left. He will face the moon and open his arms, accepting even more power and obtaining a blue flame aura and a few more new battle features. His sidestepping will increase in speed, and he'll be harder to follow due to the disappearing, similar in effect to the old Hunter Bone, Hunter Tool. His recovery and telegraphing will be harder to follow, so if you've been learning his moves, you'll have an easier time anticipating his attacks. The worst move, however, is when he will ascend to the sky to perform an arcane air slash. This move is both hard to avoid and see, and it all comes down to timing. Watch for him to swipe at the air, then dodge through its attack in a zigzag, starting with the attack angle and then against it. Surpassing your mentor is a long and tough fight. If you have gathered and used the key items, your blood echoes will be combined with the final boss of the game. Otherwise, you'll get a whopping 120k echoes from your master. No matter which of the two final endings you choose, as long as you fight and defeat him, you will obtain the Old Hunter Badge, which will unlock Gherman's armor and weapon, the Burial Blade, at the Bath Messengers. One final tip on this boss is if you're having far too much trouble with him, you can summon an ally to help you out as long as you have engaged him once. Just ring your bell in the dream and await your cooperative helper. Now that just leaves one more boss for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching. The night and the dream were long.